clip, and it's the 16th of December. This is the last report before Christmas, so I've got a few extra goodies for you. Firstly, we're going to look at the my forecast for next year in this video. Secondly, I did a round-the-clock trader presentation last week, and I've put the link to, in fact, the whole day was devoted to cryptocurrencies. They've got about 10 presenters, so if you're interested in the cryptos, want to gen up on this, then you've got just what you need for the next week or so, including myself on at 12 o'clock. Right, coming to the forecast, one of my forecasts for 2018 is we're going to see major peaks in world stock markets. So let's have a look at the Dow to start with. This is the weekly chart of the Dow going back to 2019. So we have the low there. We then have this clear 5-wave pattern with a 5 waves up there to 1, then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, giving it that's wave 3. Then we've got wave 4 to here, and now this final 5th wave at this point. Now there could easily be another wave 4 and a wave 5. That remains to be seen, but what we're seeing is a blow off top really. So I'm rather expecting that we're going to see a peak possibly as the new year comes in. If not, then shortly thereafterwards. But certainly we've got 5 waves up from 2009. Also got 5 waves up, of which this current wave is the 5th one from 2009 onwards. So pretty strong evidence that we're going to see a major peak coming in the coming year. Now, to talk about bubbles, people seem to think Bitcoin's a bubble, but the biggest bubble is, of course, debt. There's this huge debt. Well, I guess bubbles about anyway I can think of saying, and it's going to call. I think it's going to come home to roost in 2018. I think the fiat currencies, which are being debilitated by government action, undermined. Nothing wrong with the idea of the currency. I mean, it's lasted for hundreds of years, but the way the governments are just spending so recklessly is just undermining the value of the currencies. And this is probably behind the growth in Bitcoin. I think if there wasn't a need for a non-government currency, then I don't really see Bitcoin. But there is a need because I mean savers are just being decimated by this recklessness. And I think one of my big calls for next year is that the cryptos will continue to advance, and that gold also will be having a very good year next year. But equities, property, people in heavy debt, I think will have problems next year. I mean, I'm sure the governments will try and pull a few rabbits out of the sack, but what success they'll have doing that, I just don't know, because they've done pretty much everything they could do with QE. But I'm sure they'll try. But I think the world is going to change over the next few years, and I think the tipping point, as it were, will be coming in next year. Right, now on to the DAX. DAX is one market that could already have peaked. I saw this peak around 13,530 thereabouts. 5 waves down, we've discussed that previously. Very complex A, B, and now an ABC C wave, with another ABC coming in here by the looks of it. So I think there's still more upside here. Obviously we've got the Christmas period. It tends to be a bit dithery. I don't expect too much to happen really next week, and the week after that we have the post-Christmas situation. So thin markets, very often very quiet markets, not a great deal happening. But on the DAX, I think we might well see something, a bigger decline coming in early next year. But I'll be monitoring that as we go forwards. I may do a video for subscribers in the next 2 weeks or so if something actually happens. But if it doesn't happen, then I probably won't do. But I will be certainly responding in the WhatsApp room to subscribers. Right, no change on gold. What I'm looking for here is a C wave following this A wave, this B wave, and the A wave was around $100, so $100 takes it down to 1200, which is pretty much a perfect level. It's a break below that support level there, hold that support level there, and A and C will be equal. So what I'm looking for is a major support level around 1200 and a great buying opportunity, which I'll be looking to capitalize on at some point in the new year. So no change there. Alright, pound dollar, this is the weekly chart. Saw a major peak back in 2014, then had a wave, a B wave, and now a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's wave 3, followed by this 4 wave, very corrective looking pattern. Now this double top here. So this still calls for a move down to parity before it's all over to complete an ABC. And if we look at the length of this wave here, the wave 1 here, which is about 20 odd cents or 25 cents, then a move from here takes us down to at least 1.1 with parity looming, as it were. It's been very slow starting, and the wave pattern is not ideal at the moment, but that's one other trend looking for in the new year. Alright, finally a look at Bitcoin. This is a Konichi chart. This is a log scale, so it shows the actual percentage gains rather than the absolute gains. So in 2014, we saw a very substantial gain, 1, 2, 1, 2, and in fact the gains we've seen recently in 2016, 17 have really just mirrored the gain we saw back here. So it's nothing new really for Bitcoin to do this kind of stuff. Obviously the numbers are a lot bigger. My forecast for next year, first I think we're going to see a bit of a sell-off. We're due, I think, some kind of correction. And my target for next year is $75,000 to $100,000, which will be roughly a 5 times increase. We've seen a 20 times increase since I got in November 2016. And I think almost all of that came in 2017. So, you know, we do well. 5 times seems quite modest. I wouldn't be at all surprised if we saw more than that. Of course, I could be totally wrong. It could be completely different. But there are some mathematics involved. I will be sending you a recent book by Andy Shaw about the mathematics of Bitcoin linked to participation in gold and participation in cryptocurrencies. The two are very similar, really. It's a matter of opinion what the value is. If people want if a mass of people want something, think it's valuable, then it's valuable. That's all there is to it. Like, I suppose tulip bulbs isn't the best example, but gold is a good example. Yes, it had value throughout the ages, and I think Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies will have the same. It's difficult to say what one particular currency might do. I mean, Bitcoin was set up as digital cash, and it's rather lost that ability. I mean, we've now got quite slow transaction speeds, quite high transaction costs, and some of the developers are veering towards making it into a store of value rather than a currency. Now that's all well and good, but maybe people don't want a store of value. Maybe they want a currency. Bitcoin Cash is a currency. It's been designed as a currency, along with Dash, Litecoin, Zcash. I mean, there's a whole load of them, which I think can obviously coexist in the same space. We have all these fiat currencies, dollar, yen, euro, sterling, doing that for many years, so no reason at all why we shouldn't have a bunch of cryptos doing the same thing. But the store of value has been gold over the years, other precious metals, so personally I think that Bitcoin will be in there as a store of value. I don't see it disappearing, certainly not in the short term. And this chart, if we look at the chart, the Elliott wave pattern, then a fourth wave now would make sense. And it could be a fairly big fourth wave. It wouldn't take much to take us down to 5,000, for example. I mean, that would look like nothing on the chart. Obviously, a very big fall, but on this particular chart, it would fit in quite well. And then a shoot up. I'd quite like to see that, in fact, because it would allow me to buy more Bitcoin. I have, in fact, taken some profits. I've still got Bitcoin left. I remain positioned about 30 odd altcoins, as discussed previously. Anyway, let's go and look at the wave pattern in a bit more detail. Okay, we look at the action since around April 2016. We have a wave 1, wave 2, 5 wave 3 wave, wave 4, and a wave 5. So I think that's a complete 5 wave pattern. And we then saw this fourth wave taking us down to around 5.3, and I believe the current wave started at that point in time. So let's go down a leg and have a look at that in more detail. Right, so coming from that low, which is actually only about 5 weeks ago, so it was around the 5,000 level a few weeks ago. Now it's almost, well, it's trebled, more than trebled in the last 5 weeks or so, which is just quite incredible. It's hard, as it's happening, it's hard to realise how quickly it's taking place. We have here 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and a fourth wave, and then a 5-part fifth wave, completing that sequence. And we've got an A, B, C. And now 1, 2, 3, 4, then a possible fifth wave here. Let's go down another. Alright, so here's what could be that final fifth wave with the low there around 13,000. So we got 1, 2, and then a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's wave 3. A, B, C. As I said in the presentation, the round the clock trader presentation, these ABCs, very good opportunities to buy. They keep coming along in Bitcoin. As I say, you can catch my presentation in the links below. Of course, one of the problems is that if you use IG Index, they occasionally, well, quite often, don't allow you to buy anything. So I prefer my SIP, but of course the SIP only trades in certain hours of the day, and Bitcoin is 24/7. Anyway, from here we have a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's still a bit more to come here, but we could be very, very close to quite an important peak at this juncture. So that the new year could be a time when, or around the new year, when we do see a fairly significant pullback in Bitcoin. It's hard to say how far. I mean, I think 10,000 is likely. I think that would probably be a good place to buy, but obviously we're looking at chart patterns, not just leaping in blindly. But I do expect some kind of sell-off. I could be totally wrong here. There may be enough, a big enough weight of money, or a wave of money, maybe a tsunami of money coming into this market next year. I mean, the fiat currencies are giving you every reason to hedge your bets. You don't really want to be reliant on the fiats going into 2018, I don't think. But it does look a little bit overcooked right now on Bitcoin. Right, that's all for today. I hope you found that interesting and useful. I'll be back with the report on the weekend report of the 30th of December. There may be a few updates in the next couple of weeks for subscribers, depends on what happens. Otherwise, have a great Christmas, and all the best for the new year. Look forward to speaking to you as we go forward.